Tequila. Tequila.
What is up, everyone? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Doesn't feel like a Friday to me, but it is a Friday. We live? We good to go? Sound is on. Video is on. Hello, runners. Happy Friday. My name is John, and this is Motivation Theory Running. And today we're going to be discussing the types of speed workouts and running, and do you need them? Are they any good? Are they necessary? That type of thing. I'm going to give you some of my tips to ease into it, and then kind of talk a little bit about some of the basic high-level speed workouts. And as always, we're going to take questions and comments and kind of squirrel off to the side and talk about what we want to talk about. But it's good to see all of you. It's good to see all of you in the replay too, even though I don't really see you. You can leave your questions and comments also in the chat section down below, the comment section. I guess it's not the chat section, it's the comment section of the video if you're watching the replay. And again, I will always respond to those. What's going on? What's going on, Kirk? How are you? Your work day is getting a little bit better. I like that. Speed, what is that? Well, you're pretty fast yourself, so especially on those crazy vert runs you're on, those distance runs, those are good. So welcome to lap 11 of the Motivation Theory Run Club live hangout. This is the Friday edition. We're a little earlier today. I typically do 5 o'clock. It's 3 p.m. Eastern now. My schedule's kind of changing, so these might be moving to Thursday or earlier on Fridays because baseball, family, priorities. I have to baseball practice at 6, so I can't do them at 5 because I have to leave early enough to get there. It's a whole thing. So we're going to be adjusting. I'm still going to be keeping the Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Those are not going to change as of now. But before we get started, I would really appreciate if you click that like and subscribe button. If you have not already, if you're already subscribed, you don't need to do so. And I release new content weekly and go live every, again, Tuesday and Friday. Friday may change. But to make sure that you get those notifications, you need to make sure you click that bell icon that's down there around the same area and click all notifications. That way you don't miss any of the notifications for the videos or the live streams. Because if you don't do that, YouTube will choose what they notify you about. So I hope everyone has had a great week so far. We're on a Friday. So far this week, I am at 20 miles on the week, which is not bad. I've taken a day off, and again, just family stuff. I gotta kind of have balance here. I gotta let the wife get her workouts in, the daughter get her workouts in, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. But I'm still hoping to get probably another 6 today, another 6 miles today at baseball practice, and then I'll probably maybe get 15 to 20 this weekend. That's the goal. That'll be a great week for me. And again, if you have any questions, type them in the chat, and I will answer them the best I can as I start to go through this content. So how is everyone? Who we got out here? Might have messed people up with the change of the time, so not everyone will probably make it out this time, but I'm hoping people who haven't normally been able to make it are able to make it now. And this is not the happy hour version. No drink for me. I gotta go out and drive and do dad stuff, so that still cracks me up. Speed, what's that? So my running update, my foot is feeling a lot better. It's really not bothering me on every step. Every once in a while I kind of get like a sharp pain in it, and it kind of just goes away. Been running some pretty good miles, a lot of mile hill repeats and things like that. So I've been running predominantly in the Brooks Adrenaline 20, GTS 20, and the Mizuno Wave Horizon 4. Those have been the shoes I've been running over in the last week. I was going to run in last night. I was going to run in the Lapetets. I just could not get them to lace up correctly, so I just bailed on it and went with the Brooks Adrenaline 19s instead. Hopefully everyone can still hear me. Hopefully we're still good. So, speed workouts. I think everyone probably has a little bit of a love-hate relationship with speed workouts because, as you do them, you start to increase the pain or the potential for injury, and if you don't do them correctly. But if you do them correctly and you incorporate them in your running plan, they are quite beneficial to your fitness. So speed work is sometimes not a lot of fun, but I think if you choose what is fun for you, it can definitely help things out quite a bit. So speed training helps your body get better at supplying oxygen to your muscles in more of an efficient way, which will make you improve at pretty much any distance. I mean, I don't like making declarative statements across everything, but speed work will probably help you at pretty much any distance that you run, and make you able to run harder at longer distances. And that's currently where I am at right now. That's why I want to talk a little bit about this, because I've been revisiting this. When I first started running, I really got into running 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, where speed was a lot more of a factor. And I worked on it a lot more then, but I was also dealing with a lot more injuries, little things that would happen with my knees and hips and feet back then, before I transitioned into ultras. But speed workouts will not only make you faster, but it will make you fitter and increase your range of motion. And that's become way more important as I've started to age. You're able to work on your form a lot more and think about it a lot more, because I'm not one of those guys that are an elite. I'm not running 5.5 minute miles for 20 miles. So very rarely do I get up to a speed that really allows me to go through my full cycle, my full gait. I just don't get that fast anymore because I'm not running those shorter distances. So running these speed workouts helps me actually kind of loosen up a little bit, loosen my hips up, because I've noticed as I transitioned from shorter distances into ultras, I don't know if it's not laziness, but it's just the comfortability of running slower speeds. Running 30 miles or 50 miles or more, 60 miles or more. I'm not an elite, so I'm not running that at a pace that is sprinting. They're usually shuffles almost for most of the race. So I think over the years, it's just caused me not to work on my form as much. I think my body just kind of got lazy and I got slower. So now I'm starting to incorporate a lot more of that. I think that's probably not true for everybody. I think there are people that can still consistently run at a pace that requires them to go through their full cycle. And, Seth James DeMore is one of them. I see him run, 50 miles. He's still able to, which is probably a shuffle to him, but he's still going through probably a little bit more of exaggerated shuffle than some of us that are a bit slower than he is. So just adding speed work 1 to 2 days a week can yield huge benefits to you, and especially if you're new to speed work. Let me go ahead and check here. Kurt said, I need to plan speed workouts. When I'm feeling good, a run just ends up turning into a faster run. Got to switch up my training plan for my September race. Yeah, so that's typically what will happen is when I say people run too hard all the time, I think people get antsy, and because they can do it, because they are fitter, and you've gotten much fitter. I mean, I'm actually very impressed. I'm not saying actually like I'm surprised, but I'm impressed with, the amount of the speed you're running at, the distance, and the vert you get out there in Utah. So it's phenomenal. I think I see a lot of people probably running faster than they should just because they can. Doesn't mean you always should, and that's one of the things I struggle with too. There's days where I just really feel like I want to run faster just because it feels more fun and it's easier and you get the workout over sooner. But I need to make sure that I'm keeping to that 80-20, your speed workouts, your things that are pushing you into your 5K race pace and things like that shouldn't be done more than, 15 to 20% of your total miles. So we'll get into a little bit more of that here in a second. But before I get into the types of high-level workouts, I want to talk a little bit about what you need to do before, especially if you've not done a ton of running, first off, or done a ton of speed workouts. If you're just kind of new to speed workouts, you need to do certain things just to make sure you don't get injured. So you probably want to put in, 3 or so months of steady running before really incorporating really hard speed workouts. And if you're new to speed training, you also want to kind of ease into that because you don't want to get injured. Hey Tracy, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. You don't want to get injured. So basically, like with anything else, like with running, increasing your distances, you want to kind of ease into it. I know it's fun and it seems pretty simplistic. It's not usually typically a really long workout, but you don't want to hurt yourself by trying to go too fast or too hard. And when I talk about speed play, and with regards to what we're talking about right here, I'm not talking about like this flat out sprinting. We're not talking about like wind sprints and stuff like that, to the point of like throwing up on the side of the track or passing out. It's really about controlled efforts over a longer period of time, or over a certain distance and time. It's not really just flat out as hard as you can go. That's rarely ever going to be the case. So starting your speed workouts sometimes can be a guessing game when it comes to time. So like with me, with a lot of my workouts now, I have to guess on what my speeds that I should be hitting with pretty much any pacing, because I'm not the speed that I was or the fitness level I was when I was running all of my races. So those times are not really applicable to what I'm doing now. So, there is a lot of guessing work that goes into trying to figure out those times. But, with like everything you do, this trial and error, you want to just kind of maybe take it easy, err on the side of taking it easy than pushing too hard. Like if you want to run a 27-minute, or let's say I want to pick a 5K time, but any 5K time, and you're trying to train for that, you don't want to choose the time that you want to run at. You want to choose the time of the fitness that you currently are. That's probably a bad example, but you're going to have to guess kind of what speed you should be doing this. And again, there's no wrong way other than doing it too hard. You can go too easy, but I think with anything, going in undertrained is better than overtrained, and coming out a little bit easier on your speed work is probably a little bit better than going too hard. We still good out there? But you can still hear me? It's weird. We're doing it so early. Sometimes it's dark back there. Sometimes it's not. So Tracy says, left LA and I am an OBX visiting fan. Beautiful place for slow, steady state runs. Absolutely. I would love to be able to find a place that's really flat and I could run for long distances. That would be great. I just don't have that in Virginia where I live. This is very rare that I can come across a place like that, but it's great if you do. That's why I like going to Florida and getting my runs in, even though it's a million degrees there. Again, so another point when getting into pretty much any workout, but especially with speed workouts, you're going to want to warm up and cool down for about 8 to 10 minutes. You really want to get the blood pumping and getting yourself ready for those harder efforts. A lot of times I don't even do that. Like when I start off and go do my normal runs, I just kind of jog it up and kind of warm it up, and then it kind of just becomes part of my workout. What's going on, Frank? So the warming, you actually really want to do a good 8 to 10 minutes of warming up before your speed workout, and also cooling down. Cooling down is super important. I typically will do 1 minute for every mile of a normal workout to cool down, whether or not just be kind of jogging it out and then walking it out. I always make sure I try to do that. It's helped quite a bit. And so the last point I want to talk about before getting into the types of workouts is a point I made before, is that you don't want the speed workouts to become a majority of what you're doing. It really should only be 15 to 20% of your total mileage. And again, this is just general. I mean, I know some people are a lot more fit and they're able to do a lot more. They're a lot more able to keep injury off. I am not somebody who does. I know when I can start to push myself into injury. I know around the mileage that I can hit per week that I start to kind of get nicked up, and I know if I run too hard or try to run too fast, it could also open me up for injuries too, and I don't want to do that. So if you're just joining us, we're discussing speed work and how to get into it and the types to incorporate into your workouts. Let me go ahead and check chat, see who's here. Welcome everyone to the chat. Again, I can never see who are the names that are in there, but welcome Tracy and Kurt, Frank, Jason. Welcome to the stream. Hi from Boise, Idaho. Nice. Where is everybody from? I don't know how to get my phone not to buzz. It's on the box here. I'm getting notifications from Strava. Where's everybody from? I need to start doing that a lot more. I kind of get an idea from Strava, but there's some people who join in here that I don't always see on Strava. And the Strava group is growing like crazy. At like almost 130 people. With the other, a week or so ago, it seemed like we were just getting to 100. So it's growing. That's good. That's good. And so today, as everyone can see, I started the stream 2 hours early. I got baseball to go to tonight, and I'm thinking about either moving the stream to this time each week or moving the stream to 5 p.m. on Thursdays. Thursdays might work out because I think the baseball thing is going to kind of be on Fridays for a while. So I don't know. I hope that works for everyone. I know when I did the poll, there was a lot of people saying they wanted Tuesdays, and a lot of people said Fridays. That's why I chose both of those days. Kurt said so Tim. So we got Utah, obviously. Kurt mentioned that earlier. Boise, Idaho. Tim from Oregon. And make sure I didn't miss anybody. So anyway, I hope everyone's okay with the change of dates. When things start to pick up for me, it's difficult. So right now it's kind of hard for me in recording my video content. I have so much stuff ready to go, and I just haven't had a chance to film anything that I've prepared. Frank said U.S. side of the Chihuahua Desert. Nice. I know I didn't say that probably correctly. So the types of speed play. Now I know there's a lot of different names for these, but I'm going to be talking about kind of the generic high-level names for things. And the first one I want to kind of go over are repetitions or intervals, which are just periods of hard running at 5K pace or faster, anywhere from like 200 meters to 1,200 meters. And if you go by time, it'll be about 30 seconds to 5 minutes or so, with the recovery time about the same as the distance that you're running. These are really good for kind of working on your form and really concentrating on keeping your form together. But you probably don't want to do these too much if you haven't really been doing a lot of speed work. You probably don't want to come in doing repetitions and intervals, your hard track workouts and things like that if you haven't really been doing any speed workouts at all. Like the dog. Okay. Chihuahua Desert. Okay. Okay. So I don't do too many of these. I used to do a lot of 800s back when I was training hard for marathons and stuff like that. I would just do the 800 workouts. I think I've done a couple of them recently, but they've been on the treadmill. I don't dislike them. I have a hard time with structure when it comes to running. As you've probably noticed, I don't stick real hard to plans. My life is just so hectic and busy, and I probably is just type of personality that I am. I like a little bit more of a loosey-goosey style of running how I feel, or that's why fartleks are so important to me. We'll be getting those in a second. But the second type of workout are the tempo or intervals. These are kind of longer versions of the intervals, these tempo intervals that we just talked about. And they go from anywhere, 2-ish minutes to 15 minutes. And they're usually a little slower than your 5K pace. But these are just like threshold runs that get that lactic acid starting to build up in your muscles, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to do these. That's what makes you run a lot faster at those longer distances. So you're training your body to get better at handling that fatigue. So you're kind of pushing that, and you're with the rests between those, you're kind of able to do that for a longer period of time as you kind of go in and out of that pushing that threshold and that lactic acid. And these are really good for helping you run faster at those longer distances. And these are super important to me now as I'm starting to work on my speed. So, if you missed the beginning of this, I talked a little bit about how I think transitioning into ultras kind of helped me, not a good thing, start running slower. I think my form started getting a lot more sloppy, and I started getting comfortable with just running slower and not having a huge problem with going slow, because if my only goal is to finish a race, there's really no need for me to try to push things. So I think my form started getting a lot more sloppy. So right now I'm kind of taking this time with what's going on right now with no races and stuff, is just kind of working more on speed and hill work and things like that, to work on my form again, to kind of get things tightened up and try to push a little bit more when ultra and the races start coming back around again. I think I want to take more of an approach of not just always want to finish, but really trying to push time. I used to always joke with one of my friends who was a lot faster than me. I ran more ultras than he did, but he was a lot faster when he ran them. And I would always say that, I'd be happy to say that I ran 50 or 100 ultras than I ran one really fast. That's just always kind of the way that I am. What's going on, Tasmania Running? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Frank, Tim, Jason, Tracy, Kirk, everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I know there's some of you who are watching that haven't chatted yet. Again, if you're out there, go ahead and type in where you're watching from, what state, country. That kind of gives us an idea where everybody's coming from, which is cool. Got a very diverse makeup of people. And so this leads me to the third type of workout, which is my favorite, which is the fartleks. Not only is it fun to say, but it's Swedish for speed play. And I think everybody who runs knows this now because it's such a goofy name. You just woke up. Oh, yeah. So you just woke up on Saturday, I'm assuming. So I think probably one of the reasons I like fartleks is because it's a lot more fun to do them, because there's no structure, and it kind of helps me, it allows me to just kind of pick what I want to do, whether or not I'm on the trail and I want to run to the next trailhead, or I just want to run to the top of this bottom of this hill or to the next big tree. It's the same in the street. You run to the next block or the lamppost, and you just kind of pick up. It's kind of a random... You mix in those random hard efforts with the easier efforts, which is fun for me. I did these even before I ever knew what fartleks were when I first started running. It just made more sense to me. Like if I couldn't run really hard for 2 miles, I could run hard for 3 or 4 minutes, and that just happened to be certain distances. Even on hills, when I would come through certain parts of my runs, there were hills that I just literally couldn't run all the way up, but I could run to the next street. So I'd run hard of that, and that would give me a little bit of time to recover, walk, speed walk, or kind of jog it out into the next interval and to the next hard run. And so, fartleks are definitely probably the largest part of speed work that I work into my workouts, other than probably tempo type running. And I don't know. How many of you use fartleks as a normal part of your workouts and don't really even think about it? That's always been my idea about those. I think most people do them without really even thinking about that's what you're doing. For those people who are not really hardcore stuck to a plan. Anyone? Bueller? Just like I said, today is not happy hour for me. So I'm fully engaged. And that leads me to the last kind of high level. Yes, see, Kurt says I do them, but not intentionally. Yeah, so that's kind of what my thoughts are with fartleks. I think a lot of people do them without really thinking about them. That's what you're doing. Tasmania Running says basically forced to do them before I was fit enough. Yeah, and so that was kind of the same thing for me. To be able to get to the distances that I needed to, I actually basically was doing fartleks without even knowing that that's what I was doing. And it helped me just ease into running because I wouldn't just run and then kind of walk. I would always run harder than I probably should have been. Instead of kind of running at an even pace. I was all over the place. That's why you start dealing with cramps and stuff like that. I'm trying to teach my daughter to run at more of an even pace and not always do fartleks. So you don't always want to be doing speed work out there, running harder than you need to be. Slow it down, drag those longer, easier efforts out longer, help build that endurance. And that leads me to the other part of my favorite speed workouts are just kind of doing hills. I like hills, and I don't know why. Hills have just been a part of my running routine since I was a kid. Back in the day, our golf course had multi-tiered fairways and stuff like that, and my friend and I would go running, and we would run those. And my high school had a huge hill out back. Coaches always made us do hills. So even before I had any kind of way of kind of figuring out what it is I was going to do, hills were just a part of my running, and it was a way of being able to shorten the workout and work on my form, getting those knees high and pump the arms. I think hills help me a lot more with my form than anything. I mix in kind of shorter hills, so things you can run in 30 seconds. I have one loop that I do near my house that I run out about 3 miles, and then I do 15 to 20 hills that are probably, I don't know, maybe 30 meters, and it's a pretty steep hill, and I just do that a bunch, and then I run home 3. So I get my warm up and my hill work, and then my cool down. And then you can also do things like I've been doing recently. So if you see my workouts on Strava, I've been doing this kind of, first it started off with like a half mile, and then I kind of changed the workout to 1 mile hill repeats, which if you think about it, it might just be like running a run, but it is a 1 mile long hill that is probably from its highest elevation to its lowest is probably about 100-foot difference, roughly. And it's a mile long, and I will just run that. I'll run up the hill and then run harder down the hill. So I'm getting speed work coming down the hill. I'm working on my form a little bit more, and then I'm running on the hill, and I'm really hitting a lot of threshold runs with that because it's so hot. I can't keep my heart rate down. But I'm getting that hill workout, so I'm running up the hill for 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes, and then running down, and it's a great workout. So that's definitely something that you can think about incorporating. Some of you live near giant hills, and running 2,500 feet in your workout is commonplace. We don't have that here. Not near where I run. Let me go catch up in some of the comments now. Tasmania running sig now. I do 500-meter repeats, a third of a mile on a fast day. Yeah, and so again, these aren't the only ones. There's variations of all these where you start doing these other style of workouts that are a little more intricate. I do them too, 4x100s and things like that. Just 400-meter. I know back in the day when I was doing 5K, 10K, I was doing a ton of 400 and 800-meter repeats on the track, which I don't do a ton of them anymore, but I do want to start trying to do them again. Jason Braley said, I definitely feel that way also in my trail running. I find certain segments that I can push harder. Yeah, I have a lot of segments on the trails that I run that there's certain ones I try to go for, and it's funny, there's actual segments out there that I do try to run harder. Tracy Taylor says, I do them because I dislike speed workouts. You do hills? Do hills or fartleks? Yeah, I think that's what I think. Fartleks and hills are the workouts for people who really hate real hardcore speed workouts. And that's me. I don't like a lot of structure. I don't like thinking, well, I got to do 6 of these 800, and I got to do 800 at this speed, and then I have 30 seconds to 90 seconds to rest, and I'm like trying to mess with the time. Like, I don't like that type of structure. I like being able to just go, I'm going to run hard, and then that's it. and then it just kind of be random. Like, okay, I've recovered a little bit. Let me go run hard again. That's probably not how an elite athlete would train, but I'm not an elite, and that's probably why. Frank said, a lot of times people use fartlek to mean intervals off the track based on time rather than distance. The ad hoc kind of thing makes more sense with a team to me. Yeah, I think I agree with that. The ad hoc kind of thing makes more sense with a team to me. I mean, it's ad hoc to me. I don't know if I understand that part. I mean, intervals off the track based on time rather than distance. I do a whole lot based on time, just me personally. But I think, if you're part of a team or something, there's probably a lot more structure to trying to do those type of things. And again, we're using these terms very generically when it comes to kind of non-elite runners at home, not people that are on teams and having to do these workouts. So there's probably a lot more structure to these things when coaches are giving you the workouts. Kurt said, thoughts on how many days before a long run day speed works are mostly beneficial? Probably not the smartest day before. Yeah, I typically will do harder efforts Tuesday through Thursday. Maybe even shooting the closer to the middle of the week as I can, because I don't want to do them after my long runs, which would be on Saturday and Sunday. So I don't want to do them on a Friday, and I don't want to do them on a Monday. So it just basically depends on how I feel towards the middle of the week, like that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday area. There's even part of some of the Hal Higdon stuff is like they're saying you should have 2 days off a week, where you should have off on Monday and you should have off on a Friday. That way you're going into your longer run efforts fresh. You had a day off, and then you are resting after those longer efforts on Saturday and Sunday, having Monday as a rest day, going into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for your harder, maybe faster, some of those type of things. So so I don't know if that answered your question, but I mean, that's kind of my thought about it. And again, I'm pretty loose with that kind of stuff. Even when I go into a Saturday and, I'm just going to do like a 10 miler, sometimes I'll end up running a little harder than I want to and end up running 8. Right now, everything's all over the place for me because I'm getting my fitness back. So I'm just trying to my best to get back in shape. And so there's certain days that I feel a certain way. I'm saying, you know what, I think I can accomplish today. I can accomplish this type of run. And I end up just going with that. I think as I get my weight down to where I'm typically am when I'm racing, and I get my fitness back to where pretty close to where I normally race at. I think I'll probably have a lot more structure to that. But I have been trying to incorporate at least 1 to 2 days off a week, even with some of the speed stuff that I'm doing. So you'll see on some of my treadmill workouts, I'm turning up the speed a little bit more. And even on some of the downhill efforts that I'm doing, like baseball practice and stuff like that, down that long hill, I'm speeding it up a little bit. Even though the overall time's slower, it's because I'm walking and I'm resting in between the hill repeats and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to get a determination how hard I'm running based on the breakout of the pace on those workouts. What's up, Joe? Welcome to the stream. He said, hello, John. Getting hyped up for the 12-hour ultra tomorrow. Yeah, that's awesome. 12 hours. That is a good amount of time to run. So you got to get hyped up. I've got to get mentally ready. So I'm excited for you. That's going to be awesome. Tracy Taylor said, Fartlek's LOL. Yeah. The Swedes. I don't know why we use that word, the Swede word for it. Why don't we just say speed play? But I don't know. I don't know the history of that. Maybe I will look that up and we'll talk about that one of these live streams. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Kopi Racer PH. Welcome to the Motivation Theory community. And if you're in here and you're not aware, we do have the Motivation Theory Running Club on Strava. You can look me up there. Oh, Jason Braley. I'm sorry, I missed your comment there. Jason Braley said, John, what's your name so I can follow you on Strava? I am under Motivation Theory Running on Strava. And from there, you can find the Motivation Theory Running Club on Strava also. So, yeah, good luck, Joe. Get your rest today. Get hydrated. Get fueled. I'm excited for you. You're definitely going to have to let me know how it went. Tasmania Running said, I agree, Frank. It's difficult to randomize and surprise yourself. I think that's the easiest part for me, making it random. Again, as I get more fit, I'm probably going to have a little bit more structure as I struggle to improve. But my age, I like the randomness of that. Tasmania Running said, Joe, awesomeness. Absolutely. Everyone give Joe some good luck on his 12-hour run tomorrow. Frank said, good luck at Joe. Big Flat, welcome to the stream. Hi, how do you do cycling? I've just started due to injury. It's great fun. Do you cross-train? I do not cycle. All the cross-training I do is typically kind of body weight exercises and things like that, swimming or something like that during the summer. I don't have a bike. I've never done that. With ultra running, the funny thing is I wanted to try to do triathlons at one point, but just the amount of time that it takes, more power to the people who do those things with swimming and the biking. It just, there's a lot more money invested, a lot more time invested into training. I just don't have that. I would like to get a bike though. I want to get a stationary bike in here so I can cross-train a little bit some days just to ease the beating up of the feet. Especially, I could have used a bike recently when I've had the foot issue on my left foot, which is knock on wood, doing well right now. But I definitely think a bike for cross-training is good. So whether or not you're just out riding it on the streets or you have a stationary bike to ride, that's definitely something I want to incorporate into my training that I have yet to do. Big Flat said, I should try it. It's good fun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I biked a ton when I was younger. I just have not had a bike. So I just haven't rode one for a long time. But I have ridden stationary bikes. And what are the ones you sit in? You're like in a chair and I used to do that all the time. And I don't know why my brain can't remember what they're called, but rather than having one it's actually you sit in like a bike, I used to do the one where you sit down and pedal your feet quite often. Kurt says bikes are too damn expensive. Absolutely. That is part of the issue with me wanting to do even some of the smaller triathlon things is that the bikes and the equipment is so expensive. I know you can get into used ones and things like that. The way that my mind works, I get into things too much, so I can't go part way into something. I will go full into it, and I know that I don't have the time, and I don't want to set myself up for success, and my wife would probably kill me if I decided to say, hey, look, I'm taking on 2 more sports to take up my time and training. So, reclined. It's a reclined bike? Is that what I don't know if I ever knew that or not. Kurt says, but I'm willing to drop stupid money on shoes constantly. Yeah. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir there. I got C, and I'm only stuck at the level I am right now because I'm purposely trying to keep that under control. I mean, I get free shoes sent to me, but not enough to make up for what I spend myself. Tasmania Running said combo bike. No, but something like that. Yeah, I've been looking at all these advertisements I'm getting nailed with the, what do you call it? That company that's spent obviously probably millions on advertising with the big screens for the bike and the treadmill. Incumbent bike? I think everybody's just, did Frank get it? Big Flat said, I got a hybrid for 500 pounds. It is so cool. Better spend a bit and it will last. Yeah, you definitely want to probably, I mean, that's the way it is with everything. You want to spend a good amount, that way it lasts. Frank said incumbent bike. Tasmania Running said ding ding. Joe said one addiction at a time. Absolutely. That is me. I can only have one addiction at a time. I'm already doing YouTube. Now, no, most people probably don't even think about that, but I'm doing YouTube as a hobby, as something that been turning more and more into kind of like a business and running. So it all takes up a lot of time. Yeah, the Peloton. There you go. Recumbent. Tim said, I thought it was Recumbent. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I couldn't pull up any of these names right now. I haven't had enough coffee yet today. Yeah, I can. Yeah, the addiction thing. My wife would laugh. There's no way I could get away with that. Yeah, the Peloton stuff is really cool, and I've been looking at the Peloton stuff or the Nordic Track stuff. I would love to update the treadmill to one with the screen, so I could run all the different courses and actually see it. That would be phenomenal. I mean, if I think I can do the mileage that I do on a treadmill now, if I had a big screen with the trails of all around the world that I could run, that would be amazing. I probably would never go outside again, which would be a bad thing. But I have been running outside a lot more this week. I had to come down last night and run 10K last night, and it was painful, just because I'm getting so used to running outside. Frank said, Tim got it. Recumbent bike. There we go. Look at that. We're like, all of us together are like one brain. It's perfect. Kurt said the Peloton, their ads work for so many people. Yeah, I hear people talking all the time that they got one of the Pelotons. They haven't got me. They've almost got me. We've looked into it. Even my wife is getting them too. Tasmania Running said Frank was 95% correct. Frank said recline plus incumbent is recumbent. Oh, perfect. Joe Kern said 500 pounds seems heavy for a bike. Yeah, you're gonna have to do the exchange rate for us people that are on dollars. Joe Kern always has the best questions, anyways. What is 500 pounds in dollars, in American dollars? Oh, I have a question. So for those of you in Australia, I've mentioned this in the past. We watch the kids show Bluey all the time, literally all the time, and there's a lot of vernacular that Australians use that they use in that. Do they really call like dollar bucks? Or is that just some goofy thing they say on the show? Because whenever they talk about money, they always say dollar bucks. It costs $40 bucks, and that's what the dad and the family talk about. I haven't looked it up, but I thought I'd ask you all, because I know I got a couple people from Australia here, and they might let me know if that's an actual thing, or is that just something they do that sounds cute for the show. Big Flat said, what is a tattoo on your arm? Ethanol. I noticed the carbon double bonds. This is the compound for runner's high. Endorphins, basically. That's why I got it. I got it, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. I get a ton of questions. I talk way. I don't need a reason to talk about running more, but this right here makes me talk about running a lot, because whenever I'm reaching out and paying for anything or doing anything, people notice it and they start asking me. I get asked all the time, is it drugs? Is it LSD? Is it marijuana? They just name all these other. I'm like, no, it's it's endorphins. Jason Braley says, nothing beats like a beating up a real hill. Yeah, there's some hills on the trails that I run that have been kicking my butt for a decade. No matter how fit I get, I think I'm gonna tackle this hill and I'll make it. But man, they wreck me. But I love running hills. I really love running up big hills. I don't know why. I didn't like it when I was a kid, when I was forced to, but now I didn't like running distances either, but I love it. Jason Braley said, to run harder, I scream the names of the elite runners in my area that are hella stupid. That's funny. Have you guys, for those of you who run segments and you see people that run certain segments that you run. So like I will see that and I'll go check them and I'm like, how do they run twice as fast? Like some of these people are so ridiculously fast. Sometimes I think people ride bikes. I don't know, but there's some stupid fast people out there. I'm not saying that I'm so fast that I can't understand how someone could be faster than me or twice as fast, but holy smokes. So Big Flat said probably $0 at the moment. Tasmania Running said it's just bucks, $10, $20, etc. It's a genuine thing. Well, because we say bucks here too, or dollars or bucks. It's the same thing, but they call things dollar bucks. Like on the show. Do you even know what Bluey? I'm sure you probably know what Bluey is because it was a show over there. And the dad on the show was a singer in a band that was a really big band in Australia through the 90s or something like that. But anyways, they call everything dollar bucks. Like, hey, it's $5 bucks. So I thought that was a thing. I wanted that to be a real thing. But you guys just say the same thing we do. Joe Kern said 12 days into the 100 push-up challenge, 100 a day for 30 days. Seeing good results. Yeah, that is something I've attempted many times that I end up just falling out of. I usually will do 25 to 50 push-ups a day just randomly. So I've never stuck to the 100 a day, but even doing that for a couple weeks, you see significant results and kind of the strength and just how you look, your shoulders and stuff like that. So I need to do that. You know what I need to do is I need to make a series about it, and that way I'll actually stick to it. That's what, just to let you guys in a little thing. The whole reason I have a YouTube channel is just to have accountability. If I say it on YouTube, I feel like I have to do it, so that I have to paint myself into a corner. So maybe if I say I'm going to do the 100 push-up challenge for a month, that I'll do it, and I'll film it or do something that way that I can. You guys could hold me accountable to it, because it's something I really need to do. I've wanted to do it for so long, and I just fail miserably every single time. I never get through it. So I did have a question. So how many of you out there actually incorporate speed workouts into your normal plan, or are you more like me where you kind of randomly do it? You pick a day or so out of the week and just kind of randomly do, Fartleks or something like that? or do you just not do them at all? I'd be interested to know how many people, at least in this group, which represents a global audience. I don't know if it's statistically relevant, but it'd be good to know how many of you purposely incorporate speed play, speed work every single week. Tasmania Running said, maybe don't do 100 tomorrow. Yeah, I would. Yeah, if you have 12, you have to run 12 hours tomorrow. No, I think you should run the 12 hours and do 100 right at the end. You know how accomplished you'll feel if you could just knock out 100 right after running 12 hours? It'd be amazing. Joe Kern said, I banked 50 extra the last few days to take off tomorrow. Kind of cheating. You're cheating banking push-ups, huh? All you got to do 12 hours is this each, every 10 miles do, I don't know, 20 push-ups. Jason Braley said, I do not. You don't do what? Ivy said, Johnny hates to run. Hello from Athens, Greece. If you like hills, you'll probably like to come to Athens and run the authentic marathon course. From Marathon to Athens, a quite hilly and demanding course. I've heard that. I've always wanted to go there and do that. That would be kind of one of those bucket list type of things. But that's awesome if you have the ability to have access to that kind of thing. That is pretty cool. But I think every area has the ability to have access to certain things that most people don't. But I definitely think it would be cool to run the authentic marathon course. Kurt said, speed. My nickname playing baseball growing up was literally molasses. Typically, the bigger boys, Kurt, were the guys you ended up naming feet or speed. We have a couple boys on our team that are carrying around a little bit of weight, and it's funny. It's funny, not that they're carrying around weight, but it's funny all the nicknames that people give each other in sports. But look at you now, Kurt. You can rub it all in their faces. Not only are you faster, but you can run everyone into the ground in the mountains. At what elevation are you at normally, Kurt? Like where you are? Are you at like 5,000 feet, 8,000 feet normally? Tim said, not as my speed workouts as I should. Okay, gotcha. You do not incorporate speed workouts as you should. Well, I'm sure you're not alone. Welcome to the stream, David Roman. Good to see you. Try to bring it up. The Sally push-up challenge. It's a killer. Sally push-up challenge. A couple more minutes here. Let me see. Well, that's a Sally push-up timer. Well, I can't play the video because I'll get flagged. Sorry, I'm just looking up the Sally push-up challenge. It's all videos. I need text. Tasmania Running said, I don't have a plan like you. It depends on how I feel that day. I do line up the long run in advance, though, because it takes time. Yeah, that's probably the only runs that I really stick with, is like my Saturday and Sunday runs. Even Saturday's even kind of iffy. Sundays are my long run, unless something just absolutely happens and I can't run that day. I'll just get a workout in, but definitely that's long runs are the only ones I really prioritize. Frank said, prioritize my training so I will have a lot of weeks with just mileage base and then several weeks with speed work and then mileage dropped a bit. I want to do the same thing, so I'm looking to up my mileage and get my base increased, so I'm going to have to start slowing down a little bit more, so I'm going to be incorporating that into my workouts too, where I'm running a lot more slower miles, which it kills me because I don't have a ton of time, but I'm thinking about getting up early in the morning, like 5 in the morning, and doing like 2 hours each day, just trying to give me a little bit more time where I'm not impeding on everything else in my life, but just trying to get more base and splitting up workouts. So getting up early, doing workouts which were when I normally wouldn't, and then maybe doing some of the other workouts that I normally do, just get my mileage up. Joe Curran said, sure, it's just that easy. Run 50 miles, then do push-ups. You're twice the man. Absolutely. You can set it, Joe. You can say you need the 12-hour 100 push-up challenge. Jason said, sorry, I don't do speed workouts. I just feel when I'm on a roll for that week, I tend to feel like the run goes faster and better, but the heat right now is slowing me down. Yeah, I think heat's slowing us all down. I'm doing, like today, I got to go take my son to baseball practice, and I'll be out there, and it'll be hot as hell. And it has been for every day that I go out there. I mean, like not yesterday, but Wednesday I went out there. It was 99 degrees. It was like 90, and with the heat index, it felt like 99. And I mean, within 10 minutes, I was soaked. I mean, just dripping, and it was so hot. But the good thing is I've been running so much in the heat, I'm getting acclimated, so it doesn't feel as bad as it did before. So I'm getting there. So it's a good thing. So I always think about the more I run in the heat, it's just like stacking hay in the barn. It's only going to pay off when fall comes. Everything's going to be that much easier as the temperature starts to drop down into the 60s, 50s, and 40s. You'll be good. You just got to keep pushing through. But it does suck, though, because my heart rate, I could not keep my heart rate below 150 the other day. I was trying. I think the overall average was like 149, but like every time I looked down, I was like, oh my God, it's like a mid 150s. And I didn't even feel like I was pushing that hard, but I just couldn't keep my heart rate down. Tasmania Running said, you're doing more miles and push-ups than all of us. That's right. Joe's killing it. Joe said, I've done the Sally challenge. It's a beast. Now I gotta go look up the Sally challenge and figure this out. I don't know if I'm ready for that, if I can't even do like the make sure you do 100 a day kind of thing. I gotta do baby steps. Baby steps for me. If I can get back to the page again. I don't even know what I was looking at before. Jason says, elevation here is 2,700 feet. Usually run up to 3,500 or 3,700. That's good. I think I'm at like 200 feet. And again, I can go run at my local park and run for 10 miles and still only have maybe 600 or 700 feet of vert. But it is a lot of like really steep running. It's not gradual running. It is like, I mean, every time you run up, say you run up 100, 150 feet, but it's over like 100 yards. Like the hills will tear you up in Virginia. I've seen a lot of the elite racers come from out west in the United States and come here, run races, and get tore up because it's just so steep. Kurt said, heat makes me faster to get it done. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tasmanian Running said, do you sweat more on the treadmill or out and about? It's hard to tell. I mean, I have a towel, like a towel like this. I always have on the treadmill because I don't like sweating the treadmill all up. But a towel like this will be absolutely soaked. Like I could wring it out when I'm done running. So outside, especially like the other day, I had to take off my shirt. I have to put a towel down in my car and completely dry myself off like I was in a pool because I'm absolutely soaked. I sweat a ton. I sweat a ton. All right, I think with that, I gotta go run. That's just a couple things I gotta do. I gotta go buy headlight bulb for my wife's van so that I can replace the headlight bulbs and get her car inspected, and then I have to go. I have to get ready for baseball practice. So I gotta run. Thank you all for joining in. I hope you all enjoyed the speed workout discussion. If you didn't, you can go back and watch it. I really tried to get through that at the beginning for those of you who were watching in the replay. So the information was up in the beginning. I appreciate all of you here. Please make sure you click that like button when you're here. Click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. But I think everyone here is subscribed. But if you're here, please make sure you hit that like button. It definitely does help everything. No, Jason, I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm almost done. So I appreciate all of you. Frank, Jason, Tasmania Running, Kurt, Joe. Who else is out here? Jason, Tim, Big Flat. Who else we got out here? I might have missed a couple. I missed you. And Tracy, everybody who was in here today. So next live stream is going to be it's going to be Tuesday at 5 p.m. That hasn't changed. Next week, I'll figure out if I'm going to do it on Thursday at 5 p.m. or keep it at this time on Friday. Stay tuned. Some videos are going to be coming out. I'm going to try to block off my time to get my videos out. You all rock. Thank you to all of the Motivation Theory Run Club. There's a ton of people out there, so make sure if you're not joined on Strava, you can join free, and you can join the club for free. You don't have to pay or have a subscription now to do that. But thank you all, and I will see you on Tuesday 5 p.m. You all rock, and be safe. Have good long runs this weekend, and run, rest, repeat. Like always, talk to you soon. Bye.
Tequila.